So like Mr. Seiler said, this is this assignment is supposed to give you a little context, a little background in the Middle Ages, and why we study it, why it's kind of important. So I have here listed about 7 or 8 events that happened in history, and I have little pieces of butcher paper up across the classroom, and those have dates. And basically what I want you to do is we're getting to groups of 2, and basically what you're going to do is each group is going to get a piece of paper like this, have a date on the top. And you're just going to, what you're going to do is just look at it for 30 seconds, look at what the information is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get up, and whoever group, like if you have pre-500 AD, this is before 500. So you'd stand here, and then I'll have you guys read the bolded parts. There's bolded text on each of these papers, you just read it. And then we're going to go across the classroom, have everybody read theirs. And then that's it. Nothing much, it's just an activity designed to like actually get up and move. Bear with me. So what we're going to do then is to get in groups of 2. I think there might be 2 groups that have 3. That's perfectly okay. So if you guys just want to kind of get in your groups real quick. Brass pan. Stand up. And you want to move towards closest to where your date is. Yeah, why don't you You're kind of going to want to be, yeah. Yeah, right kind of behind.
Who's your partner?
We're on camera. Gutenberg?
Because I had to pick dates that sort of like are in between, so if I choose 700 that quarter is kind of busy.
You want to sit on it?
Okay. Everybody good? Okay, so let's get started. So first group is pre-500 AD. You want to tell us about what happened?
Just read the book.
Just read the bold, yeah.
The Western Roman Empire falls, creating chaos, disorder, and lawlessness in Europe. Without Rome, the light of the world, the Western world was said to have fallen into the Dark Age, where there was no rules and chaos reigned.
Yes. So like you said, Rome, which was the way the world knew Europe for the time, they ruled the entire continent, fell. And without Rome to kind of keep everything together, we just had a long period of time where everybody did their thing and it all was kind of crazy and they didn't know what was happening. So they call it the Dark Ages because there's not a lot of historical documents from that time. There's not a lot of records to say what happened because assuming it was just kind of mass hysteria and chaos. But then it gets a little better. So then let's move to the next one, 800.
Charlemagne united Europe under the religion of Christianity, bringing back order and law.
Yes, so the return of law and order, this time under the banner of Christianity. So everyone has kind of the same religion in Europe. Everyone's moving along, and now we have a sense of law and order. And you guys? All right, and then what we have next?
Leif Erikson becomes the first Viking to explore North America.
Right, so we have sort of the first exploration of going on into new lands. So Leif Erikson actually beat Columbus by about 300 years or so to North America. He just didn't really talk about that much or really make a lot of papers about it. So we didn't really know that until later on, but yeah, he did beat Columbus there, and he is one of the main guys to discover North America. Thank you. All right, next group.
The Crusades begin under the order of the Roman Catholic Church.
Yes, so the Crusades were a long series of wars between Jerusalem, the Holy Land, and European Christians who traveled to take back the Holy Land for themselves. It was a really long, drawn-out, bloody affair. It ended with the Christians actually taking back Jerusalem. And then they would switch back and forth for another couple hundred years or so. There were many more Crusades to come, all pretty bloody and not good for either country involved. Okay, thank you guys. Next group.
Duke William of the French-speaking Normandy invades England, originally the Anglo-Saxon.
Right, so the Anglo-Saxons, the guys who were in Beowulf, they were taking over England at the time, and then when they lost to the French, the Norman French, they were out, and their language was out. So what the French did was they combined their French with the English of the Anglo-Saxons, the Old English, and kind of mashed them together. And that's how we have Middle English, which is like the next closest equivalent to what we speak today. So thank you. Next group.
William Wallace of Scotland leads a group of rebels against the English, winning independence.
Alright, so you guys have ever seen Braveheart? It's a movie about William Wallace. He draws blue on his face and he proceeds to fight the English, take back what his land, what he thought was his. England owned Scotland at the time and didn't treat it very well. And that was sort of the first crack in sort of that English army, was this independence. And a couple more cracks to come over the Middle Ages. So, next topic.
The 100-Year War begins between England and France.
Yes, the 100 Years' War. This is England's biggest crack. So, the 100 Years' War was about 100, it's actually a little more than 100 years, I think, but conflict between England and France, where England thought they had the right to France because of bloodline, basically an ancestral link, and the French didn't agree, so they fought for 100 years. And Joan of Arc was the main figure for the French, who really inspired them to fight because she was really Catholic and pure. And the English ended up burning her at the stake, which kind of made them mad. So then the French ended up winning and kept their throne, and England was just kind of left with an egg on their face, so to speak. Thank you guys. And then the last one.
German inventor, Johann Gutenberg, invented the printing press.
All right, what year was that again?
1436.
1436. The printing press is invented, bringing light and enlightenment to the lower classes. So in the Middle Ages, I don't know if you guys have studied like the class system and all that, but basically the lower classes didn't have access to education or even books to read, so they couldn't practice. But when the printing press was invented, they could mass produce Bibles, official documents, that kind of thing, and every class got to get some literature and read it, and it was widespread, and everyone became smarter. And then we got the Renaissance, which was an artistic, creative high for Europe, and the Age of Enlightenment, which is where we got the philosophers who eventually come to America, and that's how we got people like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, people like that. So, thank you. Thank you guys for participating. Give yourselves a round of applause.